Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here for the LCQ on the SARS tours, before SARS tour races at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So, all these guys are outside top 35 in points, trying to get their way into the show, because there's like 18 cars going out here, 32 guys locked in, so there's 10 spots available for this race. Tan Blue is driving in place of Kevin Jones, who's basically honestly been sidelined for this race after what happened at Rockingham. Javon America is driving a Plastic 6 car this time around, and Landon Taylor driving in place of Maverick. Maverick had a pretty impressive performance, I guess, willing to give Landon another shot at it because he was released midway through Season 1. There's Tommy Lindbrook out for his run. Here are four guys, speaking of Tommy, four guys who are yet to make a single start, and, hoping to change that. All four of these guys have DNQ'd in both for the first two races so far. So Bartholomew Johnson, John Strawberry, Jared McLaughlin, and Tommy Lindbrook, which we're looking at right now. So yeah, Tan Bluer. If I had to explain him, Tan Bluer made like a start or two in Season 1. I know one thing I know, he drove in place of Harrison Fox, who was sidelined after his run-up finish at Charlotte, because that was mainly because possible lingering concussion from Watkins Glen, the race prior to that. So Tan Bluer drove in his place. I don't remember if Tan made any more starts this Season 1, but just so you know, he is not new to this. He's not like, this isn't like an attempt at a debut here. Grave Prowler, though, he'd like to qualify once again, as he could not get much points out of it, because if he actually got a good finish at Rockingham, like a top 10 or whatever, he probably, depending on where everyone else finished, that probably could have put him in top 35 just like that. But that, again, it all depends. John Zena having had a rough time, so now here he is, and now here he is having to battle for a spot essentially. So you have to see how that turns out for him. But yeah, there's Grave Prowler. So this was just, yeah, quite the, oh geez, knocked something over. So looking at the list, just looking at the overall list right now, it's I'm looking at the list here. So Zena wasn't even in the LCQ at Rockingham, but I guess him getting wrecked out basically put him here. So that kind of sucks to see for John Zena. And there's a bit of a pack forming here. Bartholomew Johnson, Sarah Taylor, who right now just has man, she only has like a couple points, man. Like very few points. It's been rough. Coming into this race, she's 48th in the standings, which is the third worst amongst guys who have made a start. Because right now it's only showing because right now if you look at the point standings before like the main race, before the Atlanta race itself, like it only shows the point standings. It only shows drivers who actually like made a start. So like Daniel Lyons has 0 points, but it still shows him in the standing, in the bottom of the standings. By the end of the season, if any of these guys just didn't qualify for any race, then maybe it will be shown. Otherwise, as the season progresses, they'll only show drivers who the point standings will only show drivers who actually made an attempt. So that's one way to see it. Bartholomew Johnson, honestly, man, kind of upset. Obviously he would be. Kind of upset that things have not gone his way. Especially when, like, they've really tried, And right now, Grave Prowler has the fastest time. Colin Cropley is basically has the last spot right now. Now, there is, I'm getting word, David Jones, so David Jones is in this. Season 1 champ, though. Thing is, his team is livid, basically fighting with the crew because, like, and I think we're still going to get news on that in, like, a minute or so. And how him being champion should have just locked him in to every race for Season 2. For some reason, they're just, organizers are kind of just mishandling certain things. So we're going to have to, like I said, we have to wait in about a minute on to the update of that. But Colin Cropley, let's talk about this. Dude essentially threatened to quit the series entirely if he DNQs this one. Which honestly, blown way out of proportions. But whatever. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's like you just sometimes just gotta take those losses. Especially when it's a lot of guys getting DQ'd, even for this one. Even though there's like, I think there's more. Is there more spots available? It might be the same amount. I don't know. Actually, there's less spots available because there's 32 guys locked in. Last time it was 31. Steven Waters, he wants to get in because him getting a DQ at Rockingham, massive blow to that. Oh, not really organization, mainly to him. Horsevar was fine. But it sucks that all this happened because of a crash that was not his fault at Daytona. So, that's a really crushing blow. And who did they just drive by? I thought that was Bobby Bob Jr. I just saw white. There's Junior McLaughlin. I almost said JR. Junior McLaughlin. The significant other, Lisa McKenzie, Lisa had a rough time. Oh man, Lisa had a rough time at Rockingham. Especially at the end there. Daniel Lyons in a 15. 0 points, and I think that 0 points came from Daytona. The 0 points came from Daytona. Because he finished dead last. And then he DQ'd Rockingham, so. Yeah, he got a point to prove. I mean, at least he's on the board right now in points, but that's not saying much because he has 0 points, so. I don't know. He's got to make moves, especially when his teammate, Joshua Barkley, in a 5-car, has been outshining him. I thought Daniel Lyons was a better driver just from, at a glance. But then Joshua Barkley got better as season 1 progressed and then won the season finale at Homestead. He wasn't a contender by that point, but he still won. So, still impressive. And then, it just got worse for Lyons. I don't know. There's Steven Waters getting chased down by Mylon Harris. Right now, does not have a good time. He has a minute or so to improve. Now I'm just getting word. Yeah, I'm just getting word. Yeah, David Jones is locked in. So they finally figured all this out. But that team is really ticked off that they had to be here. Because that's basically like, I say equipment wasted. I mean, it'd be more worn out by this point. Which is kind of a waste of time, especially since they weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Yeah, they're just the crew. Yeah, you're not seeing it, but the crews, man. David Jones' crew is just not happy about it, and there is a 4-car train going to the start-finish line. So as it stands now, no matter where David Jones' time is, he's in. Carter Cash 7th, Tommy Lindbrook in 8th right now. Look at, there's quite a battle going on for that last spot. Looking at time here, they're catching up with Steven Waters. Bartholomew Johnson with the fastest time on the board right now. Look at that. He has the fastest time on the board. As time is running out. Mylon Harris has got his time in. Marcus De Jesus is in. Lindbrook is out. No, Lindbrook's in, sorry. He's 8th. There's Tan Bluer in the 28. How are things going to go? Landon Taylor in 91. Apparently having some sort of heat problem in the car as they're trying to wrap up the time. So, so basically wrapping it up at this point. As the times go in, it's been shifted. Oh my gosh. It has been shifted. Lindbrook and Prower are out. Oh my gosh, those are really close times. Cash is out too. De Jesus and Strawberry. John Strawberry about to make his first start of the season. Same for Bartholomew Johnson. Taylor is in. Cropley's in, so he doesn't have to quit. Oh my. Oh boy, that's an interesting DQ list. Oh my, some of these guys are not going to like what just happened. But Javon American got in. So at least there's that. Lyons is in as well. And Waters. Massive props to Waters for getting back in. Step forward. And getting word, Landon Taylor, oh boy, apparently passed out on pit road. And he DQ'd anyway, so, man, that was rough time, man. That's a rough way for Lance Taylor to return. It really sucks to see. Or not see, because you can't see any of it, but it's just stuff's out on pit road as we're just watching the cars go around. That's a lot of pit road drama for an LCQ, I'll give them that. A lot of drama for an LCQ. Here's the DNQ list. Carter Cash DNQs again. Jimmy McLaughlin's still yet to make a actual SARS Tour start. John Cena out. And Landon Taylor, Lindbrook, Bobby Bob Jr. once again DNQ. Now, well, let's see how the race itself goes.